This lady right here, this woman right here is the Macho Man Randy Savage's property. Nobody messes with the Macho Man Randy Savage's property. As minute as she is to Macho Madness, no one messes with my property.
I get a question all the time, does Chris Benoit deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? And I'd say absolutely not. No. The issue is that if Chris were here, we could talk to him, he would say, putting me in the Hall of Fame is going to be one of the great distractions of the entire event. So all it's going to do is bring up Nancy and Daniel and Chris in their last 24 hours. So therefore I say, Chris Benoit does not belong in the WWE Hall of Fame, now or ever.
That night, Chris went to bed with the bodies of his wife and child in the house. So it's a very bizarre scenario. It's a very bizarre weekend, and it doesn't leave a lot of answers.
He was just a guy, like my friend. Nobody expects their friend to kill their family. Like, what?
The evidence indicates that it was a particularly brutal and vicious murder. It was something that showed some sign of real rage.
It was understood that we were not to speak of Chris, speak of Benoit, speak of anyone of that incident. And by that next week, Chris's name was erased from everything that was involved with WWE. I mean, when we did interviews, we were not to mention Chris Benoit. So that's something that was really hard for us to do, but because we all wanted our jobs, it was understood.
I pulled up on scene about time the neighbor was walking over, and I walked up to them, and I asked if she had seen Mr. Benoit or anybody. And she said, it's been 3 or 4 days since I've seen anybody over there. There was 2 large canines in the yard. If I remember correctly, they were German Shepherds. We asked her if there was any place she could put the dogs at so that we could go up there and do the welfare check. And she said, oh yeah, me and the dogs get along great. I feed them whenever they're out of town. And she jumped the fence, dogs right there with her. She walked them in there, never had to take a hold to them. It was taking a little longer than I thought it should take, but then she came running out the door, screaming that Daniel's dead, Daniel's dead.
It's the right thing to do to reach out. Once you're a part of the WWE family, you're a part of us forever. Without giving too many particulars, it's in the 6 figures of how much money we've spent sending Scott to rehab. It's the most amount of money we've spent on anyone.
Punk was in a program with Ryback, and they were looking for some heat, some heavies, somebody to take bumps for him at the end of the day, and just to elongate that feud. He's like, you look at Punk, you look at Ryback, one's going to eat the other. And so he needed some heavies, and they had come up with this idea to, get a security team for him. And they said, here you go, guys. Here's what you're doing, but not even, it's the Shield. This is the look we want. This is how it's going to go. Nothing like that. They gave us, turtlenecks and tactical pants, and then it was on us to figure out the rest.
The father killed his wife and son and then committed suicide. That's what's happened here. You didn't want to believe it. Can't believe it. Can't be true. But it was.
When I got fired, I had $335,000 in the bank, and I went through it in about 6 months. Wow. Yeah. I was going downhill fast.
I'm walking in the door, you're like, I gotta reestablish it. You gotta fucking yield, dude. You're sitting there telling me in front of fucking 8 guys, what one thing do you want to get? What one thing do you want right there? Well, fuck you, dude. I got 5 fucking moves. I'd like to get all 5 in. Yeah. We're doing a DQ. Nobody's getting beat. Can I not establish myself? I haven't been on WWE TV in fucking 6 years.
And one of the things that he, I don't want to say outright said, but alluded to me, is like, look, you're going to do things. You cannot think about how I would do things. You have to think about what you want to do and how you feel like it's best for the product. I might not like it, but I understand why you're going to do the things you're going to do. You have to do what you feel is right. But it is a tough thing to get to No one works together for that long of a period of time and goes, everybody would think to themselves, well, I would have done that slightly differently. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. We use the term all the time in the business, chocolate and vanilla, right? I want chocolate, you want vanilla. One of us has to pick a flavor. He would always pick the flavor. Now it's my turn to pick the flavor. It's all good. It's all ice cream, right? But it's my time to pick the flavor, and I have to be confident in those decisions. And I can't look back and say, well, what would Vince want to have?
When I got a guy putting a ceiling on what I can be or saying that I can't do something, well, that's when you fucked up, because I'll prove your ass wrong every single time, because I ain't afraid of hard work, and I'll outwork every motherfucker that there is to get where I want to go.
Absolutely not. I've been natural since day one. I competed as a natural bodybuilder. I've been working out ever since I was 12 years old. I've been blessed with big bones and a good physique, and I tell anybody I'll pee in any cup as you want to.
There's a guy that's insecure, man, and I didn't know it. I had the chance to spend some time with him. Man, it was an eye-opening experience, but there's a guy that's insecure, really bad. It was disheartening to see somebody with so much, that done so much, and can really do anything, and has incredible power to get attention, to get some empowering messages out to young people and stuff, and he's not using them.
Hey, Rick, it's Aaron Rodgers. Congrats on your retirement. Thank you for the many, many years of memories of you inside the ring. You're one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and there will never be another Nature Boy. So congrats on retirement.
The truth is that Hogan has an insecurity complex, and they used Ted Turner's checkbook to buy me to come back so he could feel better about having done the job in 1990. That says a lot about a person.
Some people that get in the business, they think, well, if I can't make 300 grand a year and be a star and get a limo, well, why am I doing this? Well, you don't love the fucking business, get the fuck out of it anyway, because you're in my fucking way.
I didn't know Hunter. I didn't know who he was or what he was doing. I wasn't following. I didn't watch any of the TV. But those guys were the B-team players when Hogan and me and Macho Man were there. It's kind of funny because he wanted to do more stuff, and I told him what we were going to do. I said, no, you're going to be here to finish. I'm going to kick you out. We're going to go home.
I walked into church, and as soon as I did, you could feel the foundation starting to shake. Like, what the hell are you doing here? But in any event, I sat down in the pew, and and immediately saw these beautiful blue eyes, and it was like, wow. And then, the choir stands up, to sing, and then I saw this statuesque, relatively buxom young lady, and I said, yeah, okay, now we've got some promise here.
Introducing Body Armor Sports Drink. With electrolytes, natural flavors, natural sweeteners, and no colors from artificial sources. Body Armor, now in Canada.
Chance Chanel.